Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us today for this event to remind you about extra DWI enforcement around the state of Minnesota as we head into St. Patrick's Day. We also want to remind people to find a sober ride. So, if you're partying, if you're going to be out celebrating, make sure that you have an alternative ride home and arrange for that now while you're thinking about it. We also want to spotlight a very successful program here in Wright County. Safe Communities of Wright County established a sober ride program about 5 years ago, and it's been going strong ever since. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. I want to welcome everybody who's joined us here today, but also those of you that are watching online. And we appreciate you watching our video feed around the state of Minnesota. We have 4 speakers today. First of all will be Pat Hackman, Safe Communities of Wright County Executive Director. Christy Hickel of Christie's Cab, a strong supporter and participant of the Wright County Sober Cab program. Jared Brewington of Chatter's Bar and Restaurant, you see directly behind us. He is a part of the security team at the restaurant. He'll talk about some of his personal experience as he hands out the Sober Cab certificates so that people can get home safely. And then lastly, Lieutenant Tiffany Nielsen of the Minnesota State Patrol. Also joining us today are Captain Dan Anselman of Wright County Sheriff's Office and Mike McMillan, the Director of the Wright County Court Services, here today. We'll start with Pat Hickman. Pat?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Pat Hackman, the Executive Director of Safe Communities of Wright County. Safe Communities of Wright County was started with a small group of community members back in 1997 when the crash numbers and the fatality numbers on our road were very high. This group of community members gathered to see what could be done with addressing the issue of these crashes. The group was successful in identifying many different driving behaviors that were the common contributing factors to these crashes. Some of those behaviors were easier to address than others. One of those behaviors that came out clear was impaired driving definitely was a cause of many of the crashes that we were having in our community. We continued to see fatal crashes happen, oftentimes many times much higher than what the state average was. In 2010, on St. Patrick's Day, Safe Communities of Wright County rolled out a pilot program for sober cab initiatives in some of our local communities. I'd like to say that it started out with a bang, but it actually rolled out small with a part-time cab company that actually drove from St. Cloud and 2 participating bars. The great news about it is that the news spread fast and the program grew accordingly. We know that customers actually started asking establishments where the Sober Cab program was. And so as different establishments requests came in and sign-ups started. Now, currently, we are serving 13 different establishments in our community, and we have 3 active cab companies that are providing rides home. The first year we started back in 2005, we gave 623 rides home. However, when we take a 5-year look back, we have provided over 17,000 people safe rides home.
Hi, I'm Christy Hickel. I'm the owner of Christy Cab. My husband and I saw a need for a cab company in the Wright County area, so we opened it up about 2.5 years ago. We partnered up with Safe Communities of Wright County, and we've been providing rides home, safe and sober rides home to customers for about 2 years now. We've seen a big change in our in the Sober Cab program. Lots of repeat customers. We've gotten lots of people home safe. It's just incredible. People call us. They love Christie Cab. Our cab drivers have experienced just a great experience with them on cabbing different people home. They call up and they ask for drivers, different drivers. It's really rewarding to drive people home and make sure and get them home safe. Thank you.
Morning, I'm Jared Brewington with Chatters Restaurant and Bar. I want to thank the state of Minnesota for inviting us to be part of this important messaging. Coming up is St. Patrick's Day. With that comes a large inclusion of friends and family at restaurants and bars around the metro area. Coming up here at Chatters, it's going to be busy, and like the state said, there are alcohol enforcement campaigns and actions to kind of stave off the drunk driving in the area. What we see at the bar on a daily basis here at Chatters, I've been in charge of security for the last 2 years. When people are out having a fun time, the primary trait that we see, that fine line between okay to drive and not okay to drive, is the overconfidence in people. It can be very frustrating to friends in the group if their friend is a little bit over the line, to talk to an overconfident person and let them know they're not okay to drive. But the important part of all this is that someone should speak up. You should speak up for your friends' lives are at stake. You yourself could be the passenger with that friend, or that person's life or someone else on the road's life can be taken by an action that could be easily avoided with the program that Safe Communities provided, that Chatters has been very, very happy to have as part of our secure evening experience. We've been known around the area as a group that's concerned, our security team, our bartenders, about people's safety. We stayed in the middle of the night, at the beginning of the night, what's your safe driving scenario? And we promote the ticket voucher system for the cab rides. We've had a great experience working with Christie Cab over the last few years and their drivers, and helping people understand that they have a different option, because it's really the difference between life and death, a financial hardship and legal problems, versus a fun night. So we feel it's a drop in the bucket for someone to get a discounted cab ride home and understand that we care about them. It's good to be known that way. People come to the establishment knowing that they're going to take a sober ride home and have used the voucher system as part of their evening's plans. We feel really happy that that's part of the normal thinking of people that come to our establishment, because we're very concerned about the safety of our patrons. Doesn't matter what time of the night it is or how far you are from home. It only takes one accident to change dozens of lives at some time. So we're really happy to be participants in it. It's definitely been effective, and as a beta study over the last few years to look at how this program can work, we see that it's successful, and it will always be successful. So other counties and areas should look toward this program and this partnership between establishments, the state, and the local counties. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Tiffany Nielsen with the Minnesota State Patrol. First, I just want to say thank you to Wright County, because I think what they're doing out here is if they've given 17,000 rides in the last 5 years, they've saved lives. They've prevented people from going to jail on a DWI, which has a financial cost to the family, and they've saved those people from having to go through fatal or serious injury crashes, which could have been prevented. Last year, 106 drivers were arrested for DWI in Minnesota. That is down slightly, but over the past 5 years, we've arrested 1,200 drivers in Minnesota. We want to arrest no drivers. And this is a fascinating program because it's a first line to stop those drivers before they make that poor decision. As police, whether we're state troopers, deputies, or local police officers, we're that last line. We're getting them when they've already made that decision. This program helps those drivers before they make that decision and puts them in a safe, sober cab ride home, so they're not involved in a DWI arrest or a fatal crash, which are preventable. So I want to thank this establishment for setting this program. Wright County has done a great job in creating a safe environment for their citizens, and I hope to see more of these things going on around the state of Minnesota. Thank you.
Lieutenant, can you talk a little bit about beefed up enforcement? I'm sure you're aware that counties and locals are doing as well as state patrol. Just give us a little sense of what's going to be out there tomorrow.
Yes, statewide there will be enhanced DWI enforcement throughout the state of Minnesota. It's going to be state troopers, deputies, and local police officers looking to arrest impaired drivers before they're involved in fatal or serious crashes. Any other questions?
Christy, do you have an answer in you if I have a question in me?
Sure.
Come on up to the microphone. You talked about your drivers getting requested by people. I mean, what's the atmosphere like in the cab? I mean, obviously, people are tipsy, but
People are a little tipsy. For the most part, they're pretty nice. They're excited about, they give us the voucher, $5 off. It's a great experience. It's great. They have fun. I have fun with my customers. Sometimes they're a little rowdy, but it's all good. It's great to get them home safe. That's the main thing, is just to get people home safe. It's not all about the money. It's keeping the community safe, keeping them off the roads, just getting them home safely.
You want to hear from Jared about his experiences?
yes, I do. How did you know that?
I sensed it. Thank you. Just what you encountered with people, Jared, in those situations.
Well, people are apt to want to drive home anyways because they want to control their destiny and they want to get home. They want their car in the morning, but we talk to them about what versus what. You live a few blocks from home, but you might be getting a ride home from jail instead. So why mess up a good night? Stay happy, get a ride home, and figure it out the next day. People are usually amenable to the conversation. I've had to run outside and say, give me the keys to people who either sneak out after saying they're going to get a ride home or just sneak out. But our eyes are always open and we're always looking to, see people's intentions of how to get home. But asking throughout the night is really how we're able to keep in line with where people are going and how they're getting there.
And obviously, you see this as part of your responsibility.
Absolutely, it's important. I'm a father myself. There are parents and families and someone's family, and if they're in a dangerous scenario or put others that are innocent in a dangerous scenario unbeknownst to them, it's truly about saving lives. So it's important to us as an establishment. The whole security team here and the bartenders and management make it known that we have to be concerned about people's safety. And we're a social establishment, so we're a social group. We know a lot of the people because in the smaller area, people converge to the same spot. So having that familial energy with everyone, we're able to make sure that they're safe and get home.